Yeah, no, Jose Aldo, all the way to the top, baby. He's gonna get that title shot. He probably
All
won't win
right.
it, but he's gonna get it. Um, yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want from Jose. Come on, man.
All right. Welcome to another episode of Two Fight Fans, where we talk about all things in combat sports. I'm one fight fan, Collin.
And I'm the other Stewart.
All right. We've got 307 this weekend, and we are making our picks again. I feel like it's been a while since we've done any picks.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I guess the Sphere was the last one, which wasn't too long
Yeah,
ago.
I guess
Um,
so. Yeah.
you know how time works in this sport. It's like every it's kind of like dog years, right? So every day is actually a full week. So it can only be 2 or 3 weeks, but that feels, like several months away. Yeah, anyway, but yeah, we're making picks again. For a good card with fights that are actually interesting to pick. Well, a few of them are interesting to pick. A few of them are not. But yeah. Well, let's kick it off, man. Tell
Yep.
me.
We started with the main event then, right?
Yeah.
Or the
Yeah, no, let's do main event. Alex
yeah.
Pereira defends his title against Khalil Rountree Jr.
Okay.
What is this fight probably going to look like, and why is it almost an absolute lock for Alex Pereira?
Oh, are you just setting me up here? Look at you.
Yeah, let's come on now. Let's get at it.
So here's the thing. This fight is literally, and both of them have even said like we're just gonna like stay standing and fight. Like Khalil Roundtree has been on record saying like he doesn't shoot for takedowns because like that's not his thing. He just wants to like stand and throw bombs basically. Uh, Alex Pereira has shown that that is where he likes to be as well. That being said, I do think Alex Pereira is going to shoot for a takedown at like the end of the first round,
Hmm.
just to like solidify, like the points or whatever.
Interesting.
Um,
Okay.
but I do think that this is it will be interesting because uh Alex Pereira will not have going against Khalil Roundtree. He's the southpaw again, like you said. He's had some trouble with that before.
Hmm.
He's not going to have that front leg kick to attack like he normally does. He might be able to do it with his front leg, but maybe not to the same efficacy. And Khalil Roundtree is definitely faster
Yeah.
and has more like combination, like just natural combination work. And Alex has a tendency, like you said, to get hit with things. Like
Hmm.
he stands straight up, he backs straight back. So if Khalil Roundtree can play, like put on the pressure and land with some of his combinations, he has a very good chance of, taking it away from Alex. But he does have to, walk into that very dangerous range where Alex Pereira, like he's got that one touch knockout power, whereas Khalil Roundtree has like unrelenting pressure. And once he gets you in danger, he just continues to pile on the strikes and with devastating force. So, so yeah, it's going to come down to speed versus power, basically. And
Okay.
they both have power, but I think Khalil Roundtree just has more dynamic combination speed work, whereas Alex Pereira is like a one punch knockout. So
Yeah.
that being said, I'm still rooting for my boy Alex. I think he's gonna. I think it's gonna be a like mid to end of the second round TKO.
I agree with you
This
that
is
it's going to be a second round TKO. Yeah. I can't imagine this going any longer. I also can't imagine, like, can you imagine a scenario in which Khalil Roundtree wins a round in which there isn't a finish?
like if he wins the first round, but it goes to the second round. That's what you're saying.
Essentially, or like, have you ever seen Khalil Roundtree really win rounds in a consistent manner in a fight? In
The
which
lat.
in which like the round didn't result in somebody like being horribly knocked out or their body getting absolutely obliterated, right? Like a kind of a smart, consistent. This is a round-winning performance.
Mhm.
Because I don't know
Uh,
if I've seen that from Khalil.
has he even dropped? Like in the fights that he's won, has he dropped any rounds?
So the last decision he went to, I believe, was against Dustin Jacoby, uh, who has routinely been knocked out, and he's kind of like a journeyman glory kickboxer, and it was a split decision uh, for Khalil Rountree. And
Mhm.
what kind of stands out in that fight to me is that Justin Jacoby um, had a decent jab and decent leg kicks, and you kind of pointed out that like Khalil has to get into that kind of like boxing space. He has to get into a fighting range in which he can throw combinations. He
Yeah.
can't be stuck out at range. And Dustin Jacoby, a kickboxer much less pedigreed and much less skilled than Alex Pereira, was able to keep Khalil at that range for most of that fight.
Mhm.
Um, I scored it for Dustin Jacoby. I thought Khalil lost that fight.
Ah.
But yeah, the more I think about this fight, the more I'm like, has Khalil Rountree ever shown me anything other than just like blitzing really fast into the pocket that tells me he would be able to kind of like get past the jab and leg kicking range that Alex Pereira has most of his fights in?
Mhm.
And I'm like, I don't think so. And so then it becomes this thing of like, can Khalil Rountree Jr. knock out Alex Pereira? Obviously, right? Like he can easily get backed up to the cage, not be able to do anything, and then when Alex commits and steps in for the left hook, Khalil does what Israel Adesanya did and just wings a big overhand and
Mm.
knocks him out. Like that's possible. Um, but e- everything I keep thinking of, I'm like, man, this really is such a layup for Alex Pereira. Because also Alex Pereira's last two fights, Yuri Prochazka and Jamal Hill were bigger guys. Yuri Prochazka, as much as he's an insane donkey-brained man, he does have a lot of knockouts on his record, and he's extremely able, right? Like he can eat an ungodly amount of punishment and keep coming
Yes.
forward.
Yes.
And he wasn't able to get to Alex really at all. Jamal Hill is not good, but he is big and has a longer reach than Alex Pereira. Whereas Khalil Rountree is 3 inches shorter and I think has a 3 inch or 2.5 inch reach disadvantage. So it requires this sort of like Alex either collapsing the space and leaving himself open, or Khalil being able to push into Alex without eating jabs and leg kicks in a consistent way. Um, which means that I have to pick Khalil Rountree by second round TKO. Just because, look, no, the smart money, I feel like kind of if we run this scenario like 100 times, I think like 95 to 99 times out of 100, Alex Pereira gets the TKO within the first 2 rounds. But that doesn't mean that when you run a simulation 100 times, those oddities doesn't mean that they don't appear the very first time you run that simulation, right? You can
Mhm.
roll dice or flip a coin and you have be 99 times heads, 1 time tails. Tails could be the very first one that you get, and then you go on the 99 streak. I'm mostly just trying to manifest Khalil Rountree Jr. as the champion. No, there's nothing really about this fight that like, yeah, you have to pick Alex Pereira. Like that's the right call. Khalil Rountree has not shown any way of like getting into range other than just pressuring. And the things that stop pressuring are an effective jab, an effective kick to like slow down the footwork, and those are two things that Alex Pereira has. And Alex Pereira doesn't really lose to anyone, even in his kickboxing days, who isn't at least as big or bigger than him.
Mhm.
Um, Izzy is not like his frame isn't as big, but Izzy is taller and longer. And then all of his kickboxing losses have come to people over 6'5", and with longer reaches than him.
Mhm.
Alex Pereira has gotten very good at being a gigantic freak, like you said, with insane power. Khalil has very good power, but it is speed. Yeah, I'm going Khalil round 2 TKO. But I mean, the only way you can pick him is you go like he has a puncher's chance and he has
Yeah.
enough skill to put combinations together, but like strategically, tactically, anything we've seen on tape, this seems like it should be an easy fight to game plan for if you are Alex Pereira,
Mhm.
and a lot of Khalil Rountree, the things that make him uncomfortable, will probably manifest in this fight. Unless Khalil comes out and does something we've never seen, which is like just storm through leg kicks and jabs and take punches and then just decide he wants to make this like a blood and guts fight. Uh, yeah, that's what I say.
Yeah. All right. That's kind of a Collin pick there. So
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah. No, it's like I've been thinking about it more, and I was like, so I had initially been like, well, maybe Khalil might have a chance. And the more I think about it, I'm like, there's no way, like, if we were gambling anything important other than minutes of our life, there's no way you could like put money on anyone but Alex in this
Mm.
fight. But I just want Khalil to win, so I'm going for it. And right, if they keep putting Alex Pereira up against potent strikers, eventually one of them is going to knock him out. Like
Yeah.
on a long enough timeline, he is going to get starched at some point. So why not? Why not now? I guess.
Why not now?
Yeah, why not now? That is another thing too. Like on a long enough timeline with Alex Pereira, fighting him, even if you are winning rounds, he will knock you out. Like that happen unless you knock him out first.
Yeah.
That happened with Izzy in their first fight. It happens with everyone. Um, and I don't know if Khalil has a a, a type of style and like strategic mind to take rounds away to set up a big knockout in
Right.
that way. Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway, all right. So, but both of us, I think, the right call. This fight is not going to a third round. There's no way this fight can go to a third round. And if it does, it's going to be a bad fight. It's going to be really bad. Because they're both big men who are going to get tired.
Yeah. At elevation.
Yeah. Well, and like Khalil Rountree relies so much on being so freakishly explosive that it's like eventually those gigantic muscles are just going to get tired at elevation, man. Also, like, what? Khalil Rountree Jr. was born in Las Vegas and like grew up in Las Vegas and trains in Las Vegas. This is a fight that, like, on the multitude of Las Vegas cards they could have put, and it would have been like a
Yeah.
homecoming for Khalil Rountree. Instead, they're making all these people go to Utah, which is like, what the fuck? Anyway, whatever. Let's move on to what might be, I think, the hardest fight to call on this card: the
All
women's
right.
bantamweight title bout between Raquel Pennington and Juliana Pena. Pop quiz, Colin. When was the last time Juliana Pena fought?
Wasn't it like 2 years ago or something?
It was in 2022, and it was
Yeah.
her one-sided defeat to Amanda Nunes, and since then she has not fought at all. So
Yeah. Why? Do you know why is that?
well, I mean, she got killed like 20 times in that Amanda Nunes fight, and then like somehow was resurrected. Like, I mean, she got dropped, what, like 4 or 5 times in that fight? And, I mean, it was one of the most one-sided for a decision, like one of the most one-sided decisions in a title fight I think I've ever seen.
Mm.
I think it has been injuries, and then I think they were trying to set up her versus Amanda Nunes, the trilogy fight after Amanda Nunes beat Irene Aldana, but then Amanda Nunes retired. So then it was, hey, I think she was scheduled to fight Raquel Pennington for the vacant title, but then she got injured, so that's why it was Mayra Buena Silva. So I think it's been injuries, and then like the UFC trying to like set up things, and then people retiring, blah 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 blah
Nah.
blah. Oh wait,
Okay.
hold on. Did you see the Raquel Pennington Mayra Buena Silva fight? Did you watch that yet?
Oh yeah, I watched like parts of it. And
Oh, tell me what did your L5 see, Colin?
Yeah, it was.
Say it. Say it out
Yeah, it was
loud.
pretty rough, man. Like was there just really no one else that was like adequate to fight for the vacant title or whatever? Or like what happened with this? Like, did both of them just like let the nerves get? I don't know. It just was not.
Yeah, I mean
It's what you said. Yeah,
this division is dead right now. I mean, you said who else could fight for the title, or like couldn't they have found someone else? Who can you name another contender that, like, besides Kayla Harrison, who's exciting in this division, or like has potential to be like, ooh, I wonder what they'll be like if they're champion.
yeah. Good point.
Yeah, like Norma Dumont, Irene Aldana, Ketlin Vieira. None of these are really striking a lot of like confidence.
Yeah,
It was a bad fight. It was a bad fight. And it was made really bad because Mayra Buena Silva gassed out after like the first like 6 minutes, and then
Yeah.
Raquel Pennington was piecing her up on the feet, but just seemed like two magnets. They were just drawn into clinching exchanges,
Yeah.
despite the fact that Raquel Pennington's quarter routinely was like, "Do not clinch with this woman. Her best chance is to submit you. Just stay at range and throw your 1-2s because you're hitting her every time." Raquel Pennington would hit her one time with a 1-2, and her like brain would go, "God, I gotta clinch right now," and then she'd clinch up. It
Mhm.
was it was bad. Anyway, so what does this fight look like then?
Ugh. I think it's going to be a lot like that again, but the opposite way. I think I don't see Raquel Pennington coming away doing the same thing that she did to win this championship.
Okay,
I think Juliana Pena will get the best of her, but it is gonna be kind of like a really slow meandering affair. You know, like they might do that, like where they trade punches, they clinch up, and then nothing happens, and this is like a rinse
mm,
and repeat. And whoever like gets the better exchange or is able to do some damage on the way out, and I think Juliana Pena is just more skilled and just more durable than Raquel Pennington.
interesting. Okay. What why do you think Juliana Pena is more skilled than Raquel Pennington?
Why do I think she is?
Yeah, because I'm like thinking through her game and I'm like, well, she has a dipping jab, right? Where she throws her jab and then dips her head off the center line.
Mhm.
She has decent submissions and can like
Yeah.
scramble to get to the back. And that's everything.
Yeah.
She
Okay.
doesn't have takedowns. She doesn't have control. She doesn't really have any sort of clinch fight. She doesn't really have good striking, other than the fact that Amanda Nunes, apparently in her entire time training martial arts, had never realized you could take your head off the center line when you throw a jab. Um, so I don't know if I agree that Juliana Pena is more skilled than Raquel Pennington. Because Raquel
Okay.
Pennington has a jab and a 1-2. I think Raquel Pennington was cursed with being as athletic as I am, which means not at all. And so she's very slow and kind of plodding, but I actually think her technique is pretty good, and she has more technique in different areas, I think, than Juliana Pena. I think she
A more
just,
diverse skill set.
yeah, I just think she's really bad at sticking to a game plan and
Mhm.
listening to directions, and she's unathletic. Um, yeah, I would push back because I don't actually know what Juliana Pena is good at all. Like watching her fight, she got submitted by the worst grappler in this division, Duran me. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what Juliana Pena's gonna. Yeah, like I mean, who like I guess like who she beat Amanda Nunes in what was like a really bad night, I think, for Amanda Nunes, and then was
Right.
summarily like beaten to a pulp by Amanda Nunes in their rematch when Amanda Nunes way overcorrected and went, I'll go southpaw to avoid the jab. And you're like, you could have just learned how to like counter a jab. But anyway, that's beside the point. But besides that, like, who is she really beaten in this division who's still fighting?
But it's like you said, who's in this division?
Yeah, yeah. Um, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, no, you know what? Raquel Pennington is better than Juliana Pena. It's just
Okay.
her horrible unathleticism that masks that. Um, if she had these skills in a body that had even an ounce of like fast twitch muscle fiber, maybe we would all be like, "Wow, she's really great," but she doesn't. So I don't know. Juliana Pena is more athletic, and we all know athleticism is cheating. So
Yeah.
Juliana Pena should be
That's kind of
favored.
all you need.
Yeah, yeah. But like I like when I try to envision like what's the game plan for Juliana Pena when they sit down and like here are the skills we're going to bring to bear to take this fight away from Raquel Pennington. What do they say? All right, Juliana, go in there and just get her. Like what do they? She she she
That
she, th- she throws a kick and nearly like dislocates her hip every time she throws a kick. She can't really throw in combination unless her elbows go flying up by her ears.
Yeah.
Like I don't. And then she like she will forget other people have grappling. Like when she took down Valentina Shevchenko, she like it left her arm so completely open for an armbar that it got snatched up in like 3 seconds.
Mhm.
And so it was like, okay, you just kind of like gave her that. She got choked out by guillotine by Drain Randomy. Like, I don't. What does Juliana Pena do?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
it,
asking that legitimately. Like, tell me what you think she's going to do to win this fight. Like, what is this going to look like?
I just think that despite the fact that her technical deficiencies, she is going to be able to use more of her athleticism, or maybe just Raquel Pennington's lack thereof, to win the better of the exchanges. I think that's really all it's going to be, because like I I don't imagine this going to the ground, and if it does, I think it's going to just be really sloppy, where like one person will maintain like basically just control until they work their way to the cage and just walk their way back up. Like there's
Yeah.
not really much that's going to happen on the ground. But I think if it does go to the ground, Gio Pena will be able to control it, whether it's she's on top and just kind of like holding down, or on her back and just working her way back up. Because like again, I haven't really seen what Raquel Pennington can do on the ground either. Like it doesn't really seem like that's where she wants to be either, and she's not like extremely dominant on the ground like you have with like an Amanda Nunez or someone.
Yeah, like Raquel Pennington is like her again. She's so slow that I think it can make her wrestling look not very good. But like, it's technically correct, right? Like
Mhm.
the way she like will link. Hey, this is how you do a takedown. Hey, this is how you do a trip. She's just very slow. She does appear to be very strong, right? I think she has a bulldog choke win. Um, so she is strong. So
Mhm.
like again, it's this thing of like, is Juliana Pena as strong as her? Probably not. And I don't know, man. That Myra Buena Silva fight, like Raquel Pennington held her down a lot of the time, and didn't get submitted. So I'm like, well, is Juliana Pena that much better than Myra Buena Silva? She'll probably have better cardiovascular fitness, but yeah, like I'm going with Raquel Pennington. I think it's going to be a Raquel
Oh,
Pennington decision.
okay.
I think I just like when I go like, okay, how does Raquel Pennington win this? I go, all she needs to do is like keep throwing a 1-2, and then when it gets into a clinch, she just needs to like she's probably going to be physically stronger than Juliana Pena, and she probably can like hold her down and like not get submitted. So just throw your 1-2, which we know you can, and then just like kind of when the clinch inevitably comes, just make sure you don't get submitted in a transition. And for
Mhm.
Juliana Pena, it's like, what do you like? Hope you get a submission. Like that's kind of what or get a thunderous knockout, which we've never seen Juliana Pena get. Like I don't know what. Yeah, I just can't like envision Juliana Pena like what actual steps she can take. It feels like she'll
Mhm.
just come out and be like, ah, fuck, what do I do? I don't know. Let's just try stuff. Um, yeah, that's what I think. What about you?
I'm going with Pena decision,
Okay, Pena
and
decision.
yeah, I don't see Pennington being able to, like, yes, she might have a little bit of technical advantages, it's like small edges in certain areas, but I just don't think that's gonna be able to overcome her just seemingly, like you said, her lack of ability to adjust or game plan or respond to her coaching, or like use any of those advantages effectively.
You just hate unathletic people.
I
That's what it
do.
is. Yeah, you just are you're just this is a hate crime against unathletic people
Let it
that
be
you make.
known.
Yeah. That's it's the same thing. Your love for Alex Pereira, he's just got one secret cheat code, which is like the stupidest like athletic gift of insane power. And then he's like, I'm not gonna learn anything else. And Raquel Pennington's out here grinding every day to learn as much as she can because she knows I've got no preternatural ability. I have no natural ability for this. How dare you? Uh, Raquel Pennington.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Cool.
All right.
Here's the question. Do you think it's going to be a 50-45, or do you think this is going to be like a really close fight?
I think it should be pretty close.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah, it'll probably be 3 rounds to
I think
two.
there's going to be a few times where we like both stare at it and text each other and like, who'd you score that round for? We're both going to be like, well, like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's a good. I don't know. I don't know. Because here's the one thing: Juliana Pena will. She made that second Amanda Nunes fight when she got dropped 10,000 times and couldn't do anything. She kept running forward into the pocket to get punched again. Like she will kind of bring the fight to a fight. So that might actually make
Yeah.
this thing kind of like interesting
Hmm.
to watch, right? Because she'll just keep, regardless of the success she has, she'll just keep kind of her foot on the gas.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Let's move on to the King of Rio, baby. Here he
Yeah.
is, Jose Aldo
All
against
right.
Mario Batista. What do you know about Mario Batista?
I watched a couple of his fights. What I saw was he could not defend any leg kick to save his life. And that's a problem
Yeah.
against certain versions of Jose Aldo.
Yes.
Now, here's the thing, Jose Aldo, when he decides to do his leg kick, is like unstoppable. Like basically every time he's used his leg kick effectively, he has like destroyed his opponent.
Hmm.
For some reason, Jose Aldo has had donkey brain moments where he just goes, "Nah, I won't kick anymore." And like mid fight or like his first round, he might, score some really nice leg kicks that are clearly effective, and then he just goes, "I'm good. I don't need this anymore, or I
Hmm.
don't want to do this anymore." But against Mario Batista, like there are a few times where I saw him in his fight where it looked like he was almost like just knocked out from under, like his feet just taken out from underneath him based on how caught off guard he was by a leg kick.
Mm.
Uh, Mario Bautista is just to me, in the like just going to be a younger, more energetic, and possibly more in shape, like cardiovascular than Aldo. So I think in this fight, if Jose Aldo comes out like he did in his last fight, like hungry, technically sound, and in shape, he definitely has a chance to not just take this fight, but also knock out Mario Batista.
Hmm.
However, if that version of Jose Aldo doesn't come out, and because we're at elevation, I think the longer this fight goes, the if Aldo did not establish a strong like rhythm and pace in the beginning to dictate the rest of it and have Mario Batista kind of like always responding or reacting, then his chances start to drop down considerably. Um,
That's true. Let me
yes,
spin something back at you that you just
spin it
said.
back. All right.
Um, Jose Aldo has donkey brains because he comes out and he throws devastating leg kicks and then stops doing it. What if, instead of viewing that as donkey brains, we think, look at this technical savvy. Jose Aldo has come out, established the threat of the leg kick to make his opponent think about it and worry about it. And then, rather than going back to the well on that, because we know his kicks are so powerful, they're unlike normal kicks. They deplete his energy so quickly. He goes, great, I've got you thinking about them. I've got you worried about them. The threat of the violence of the leg kick is actually just as effective in the overall fight as the actual violence of the leg kick, right? Like it becomes
Sure.
almost like a nuclear deterrent for him.
Yes, but the problem is enough time goes by where either A, his opponent just forgets about their danger, or
Mhm.
B, also realizes you're not throwing these anymore. So
Yeah.
he doesn't have anything to fear. Because there's been a lot of times where like, yeah, I would think that, but then because he stops throwing it or stops using it or threatening it or even feinting it, then
Mhm.
it's like that advantage he had is not there anymore. And then he loses that round or the fight overall.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but what fights has Jose Aldo lost? I guess
Period.
like well, no, no, no. Yeah, like kind of like like taking a look at the people that beat Jose Aldo. It's Merab Dvalishvili, it's Piotr Jan, it's Max
Mhm.
Holloway, it's Alexander Volkanovski.
Yeah.
Like really elite level fighters who also are okay with losing rounds,
Mhm.
right? Like Alexander Volkanovski is kind of okay with losing exchanges because he's like, it doesn't matter. I'm just building up towards something. Max Holloway will let like things go and be like, it's okay. I'm building towards something. Radvalashvili will shoot 900 takedowns and get one of them. And he's like, that's okay, because I'm building towards something. Mario Batista, I haven't seen do that. I haven't seen
No.
him like get into exchanges. And I think that's what happens with a lot of Jose Aldo, like the people that he beats, especially on this like 135 run, is they kind of get overwhelmed by being like, fuck, every exchange I get into with this guy, he has better footwork than me. His head movement is really good. I have to throw like 10 punches just to land one. And people get really dissuaded by that.
Mhm.
I haven't seen anything that makes Mario Batista stand out as somebody who's like, again, like okay with losing exchanges, because he's like, Max Holloway had said like he knew he was going to lose the first round, but he just had to keep putting a pace on Jose Aldo and let Jose Aldo like tire himself out by punching at him.
Right.
Right? Like a lot of people can't stand in that fire or don't want to. Right.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, so make your pick then.
You're gonna hate me for saying it, but I'm gonna say I don't know. I don't think the elevation is gonna be Aldo's friend here. I'm gonna say
Yeah.
Bautista by decision.
Batista by decision. So what is he win all 3 rounds? Does he win the last 2? How does
No, the last 2.
Last 2. Yeah, see, that's kind of my thing. It's like Jose Aldo's fought at elevation before. He knows he gets tired out. I could see Jose Aldo coming out and almost having the game plan that Robbie Lawler had against Cowboy Cerrone, where he came out and like emptied like 90% of his gas tank in the first round, and it just so scared Cowboy that then like Cowboy did almost nothing for the next round, and neither did Robbie Lawler. But like Robbie kind of carries that momentum, and then when he does land, everyone goes like, well, Cowboy hasn't done anything to like reverse the complexion of this fight. I kind of think Jose Aldo will do that same thing. He'll come out, we know, for at least 5 minutes. He'll be really sharp, really hard to hit. He'll probably hit Mario Batista. Like you said, he's tape susceptible to leg kicks. He hits him 2 or 3 times really hard with those. It's going to slow Mario Batista down. And then for the second round, even if neither one of them really does anything, if you have a really dominant first round, the judges will probably give you the second round.
Yeah.
And then Mario Batista might. In the third, Jose Aldo's even more tired, or Mario Batista might go like, hey, wait a minute. He didn't do anything that last round. And I could see him coming back and winning the third round. But by that time, it's Jose Aldo's banked 2 rounds. You can't let him do that. And Jose Aldo's so defensively savvy. I can't imagine Mario Batista, unless he really takes it to him from like the word go, like getting to Jose or like putting him in a ton of danger.
Yeah.
So I say Jose Aldo by decision. I think probably the first 2 rounds.
Okay.
I could see Mario Batista winning the third. No, dude, you just be doubting Jose every time. You're like, if he comes out like last time, he's come out like last time every time. He can't. If he does what he did in his last fight, he's like he always does. He's Jose Aldo. He's gonna do it. Yeah, and then he's gonna fight. Did you see the interview that Sean O'Malley wants to fight him, and Jose Aldo wants to fight Sean O'Malley? Like that's a good fight. I like that. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, no, Jose Aldo, all the way to the top, baby. He's going to get that title shot. He probably won't win it, but he's going to get it. Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want from Jose. Come on, man.
I want it too, but I mean, it is a steep hill to climb right now.
Well, yeah, that's true.
And time is not on his side right now.
That's true. Though I believe he's younger than both of us.
No, he's 38.
No, he's not. Jose Aldo's not 38. What are you, crazy? No, he's so young. He's like, oh no,
September 9th, 1986, my man.
Fuck. Yeah, he is old. Okay. All right. Well, Jose Aldo by decision. Okay, great.
Listen,
so,
I love that you're a Jose Aldo fan. I love it. You know, I love him too, but it's just, yeah.
No, I looked at this fight and I went, how does Mario Batista win this? Can he put 3 rounds together to beat Jose Aldo? Does he possess the things that Alexander Volkanovski, Max Holloway, and Rob Dvalishvili possess, which is an insane ability to weaponize cardio and the willingness to lose exchanges routinely until you win an exchange? And I did not see Mario Batista possessing those two things. And so far, those are the only two things I know that beat Jose Aldo. So unless Father Time has come and poisoned him in the night, I don't think Jose is going to lose this. This is not the
All right.
matchup
All
that
right.
Jose loses. Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
so it's not being a fanboy. It's because I'm looking at it and I'm like, all right,
No,
this
that's fair.
is right. When Jose Aldo fights Sean O'Malley, then I'll gnash my teeth and rend my clothes and be sad that Jose will probably lose. But it is not this day. Anyway, all
All
right.
right. All right.
Now we've got two other fights to pick.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised that we're so. I mean, the top spot. I'm just picking Khalil for funsies. But I am surprised that we were divided on the other two fights. So yeah, let's pick two more, and why don't you kick it off? What fight are you interested in, and who are you picking?
All right. I will do the featured prelim fight: Stephen Thompson versus Joaquin Buckley.
Nice, nice. Me too.
Oh, okay. Good. 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 Good.
So we've got Stephen Thompson, 41.
Whoa,
Against
wait. He's 41 now?
yeah, man.
Yikes.
Yeah, I know. Oh my God, he should be
lo-
in a home.
No, but he just looks so young. Like, and when did he debut in the UFC?
A long time ago, he debuted against Matt Brown when Matt Brown was on his title shot run.
Oh, wow. At UFC 145 in 2012, 12 years ago. Wow. I did not realize it's been that long.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Stephen Thompson, he's aging like fine wine. He's yeah, those weird ultra Christian Southern boys. Some of them age pretty well. Anyway, all right. Stephen Thompson, Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin Buckley, young, I think. I think he's not even 30 yet, and he's kind of on a run now that he's come down to welterweight from middleweight. Tell me what you think.
Yeah. I see this being like a very much can Stephen Wonderboy Thompson use his kind of unique style of keeping people at range, using that karate point fighting style, and can he frustrate Joaquin Buckley into basically just keeping him at range and not be able to press in or use his athleticism again. And Joaquin Buckley in his last fight kind of disappointed. I think this is the one that we talked about.
Yeah.
Where, we thought he was gonna come out and be super dynamic and exciting. And that didn't really come out. So yeah. I'm that puts a little bit of pause for me on him. But I do think that he will be able to bounce back. I just it's like you said, I think in our last conversation, Stephen Thompson is this good kind of gatekeeper who, if you can't beat him, then you belong higher up in the division. So it would be a good test for Joaquin Buckley, but I do think he might be frustrated by that a little, by that sidekick or that kind of leaping strikes that Stephen Thompson can throw. But I think he will in the end get a decision win.
And how does he get this decision win?
I think he will eventually figure out the range to be able to push in and press into the cage a little bit and kind of do some dirty boxing and maybe score a takedown here or there, but mostly just kind of pressing the range and basically cutting off the cage there.
Interesting. Cage cutting. Okay. Now let me throw that back at you. Joaquin Buckley fought 2 years ago Nasruddin Imavov, who we just watched. Kind of a slow-footed, plodding man who just kind of dances around, not very quickly, and just kicks and punches and jabs people at the end of his range. Joaquin Buckley could not cut that guy off at all. And that guy does not have anywhere near as good of footwork or as fast of footwork as Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. When he did push in his next fight and tried to engage in a real let's get in tight and punch kind of in the clinch or dirty boxing style against Chris Curtis, he got KO'd. He got KO'd hard. Joaquin Buckley, I think, has just really excelled only because of how athletic he is, like freakishly athletic he is.
Mhm.
Um, and so like uh, I don't, because like, so he beat Nursultan Rizaboyev. That was his last fight where like Nursultan, it turned out, was just a can crusher and actually pretty bad. And Joaquin Buckley couldn't finish him
Mhm.
when Nursultan was like, I don't really want to engage anymore. Joaquin Buckley had no way of like, he had no methodical or like strategic way of like actually closing the distance. He did knock out Vicente Luque after Luque came back from the brain bleed. So, okay. And then Alex Morono, the world's most unathletic man. Joaquin Buckley took a decision off of him because Alex Morono figured out, hey, if I just clinch with this guy, he doesn't actually know what to do from there. He doesn't know to like pommel for underhooks. He doesn't know how to like grab and punch. He doesn't know where to keep his elbows at. Like Joaquin Buckley is another one of these guys who's just like, I'm just big and athletic and I practice big hooks and like roundhouse kicks and like spinning back kicks on the heavy bag. And that's like my training. I don't actually know what his training is, but that's what it appears to me to be.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to be able to get to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. I don't like
Okay.
Stephen Thompson. He's old. And he's coming off of quite a few losses. But he still is like very hard to get to. And who like Kevin Holland couldn't get to him. Let's see. Shavkat Rakhmonov could, but he's the uncrowned champion. Bilal Muhammad is the actual champion, and he got to him. Gilbert Burns, but Jeff Neal couldn't. Vicente Luque couldn't. Darren Till really couldn't. Jorge Masvidal couldn't. Like I don't see how Joaquin Buckley has any better skill or like ability to use footwork than those guys. I think Stephen Wonderboy Thompson's going to keep him at the end of his range. It's going to frustrate Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin Buckley also tends to kind of have donkey brains in his fights. He might get frustrated and just be like, and then like run into punches that Stephen Wonderboy Thompson throws. So I think Stephen Wonderboy Thompson by decision.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
A question for you.
Yeah.
Age and elevation and dynamic explosive striking style.
Well, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson has the power of Jesus on his side, so like I don't really know. No, I have it's a good point that like the elevate, but like Joaquin Buckley I think relies so much on being like super explosive and athletic that I think just trying to close the distance by like sprinting across space really fast and throwing punches, I think it's going to probably tire Joaquin Buckley out more than Stephen Thompson.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's only 3 rounds. Even if Joaquin Buckley does figure it out by round 3, that's still 2 rounds that Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is banked.
Yeah.
I don't like the complexion of your picks now. You're just picking athletes over people who have actual skill. You're like, this guy's athletic, or this lady's athletic, so they'll win. This is bullshit. This is bullshit.
Joaquin Buckley has skill too.
What? How?
His striking is good.
It's all right. We'll talk about that later. Yeah, it's no. It's
Just no.
Not compared. Mechanically, Joaquin Buckley can't throw a 1-2 correctly. And he pulls his punches back. He doesn't paw them. His hands don't drop when he punches. But like, okay, when do you throw that punch, Joaquin Buckley? And then he will respond whenever I can. And you go, okay, well that's not right though. You need to like actually think about when you're supposed to do stuff in a fight, right? If an opponent does this, what do? Well, I throw my punches. Okay, but do you have any other idea? No, I'm just gonna throw my punches. Okay, that's not right. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson has like an actual like methodical strategic game plan. If opponent does A, I will do B. If they do B, I will do C. Right? Yeah. So the age and elevation thing is a very good point, though. I kind of forgot about elevation for this fight. Yeah. Stephen Thompson could get really tired. So Joaquin Buckley could get really tired. I don't know.
And they both could, so they both have showed that happens too. Like,
yeah. It's good matchmaking because, like you said, if Joaquin Buckley gets through this, it does show that he kind of belongs in the top 10. And Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is a really good test because I still haven't seen anything that makes me think that Joaquin Buckley could win against a grappler of any like note. Right, like Sean Brady or like Bilal Muhammad or Shavkat Rakhmonov, like they might be able to out-grapple Joaquin Buckley pretty easily. So this is interesting. No, I'm going with established skill, strategy, and technique, not freakish athleticism.
Right.
because that's just voting for a cheater. Um, yeah, cool. What's your other fight?
Oh no, that was mine there.
Oh,
What
okay. I was gonna. Well, we have to pick two, right?
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Okay, well, you tell me one of yours now. See,
All
we
right.
might be
Let's.
lined up with it.
Yeah, here it is, man. There's a middleweight fight on this paper.
Yeah, there's two. There's
Yeah,
two.
yeah. Well, we're not gonna talk about Igor Poteria. No way. That's we're not gonna talk about that. Roma Delite and Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland, just bouncing back and forth, going wherever he wants. Middleweight, welterweight, might see him at light heavyweight at some point, might cut down to lightweight, who knows? Against Roma Delite, who I believe is Roma Delite the guy coming off of a light heavyweight victory against he is Anthony Smith.
Yeah, against Anthony Smith. Yeah.
Yeah, he did just lose to Nasruddin Imavov, and Marvin Vettori. Oh no. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, dude, if you're losing to Marvin Vettori, like, we got problems. Tell me what you know about both of these fighters and like how they fight.
Okay, so I remember when we talked about the Anthony Smith fight, and we were like really hopeful for Anthony Smith, and then he just came out and did not like deliver and did not perform, and it's like, okay, so Anthony Smith lost that fight then. Yeah, it's kind of like you said, Roman Dolidze, like I feel like he has enough power to make himself a little bit dangerous, but also not a lot of skill to back that up.
Yep,
So
100%.
yeah,
He's in the vein of all of these fights now. I'm realizing he's big athletic man who doesn't have a lot of skill or strategy or technique to back it up, but he's big and athletic. He can hit hard. He does have he has decent grappling, especially for middleweight. And then what do you know about Kevin Holland?
Kevin Holland is just very athletic again.
He does. He's one of these weird guys who he'll come out one fight and have really like a very disciplined
Yes.
jab and like knows how to throw in combination and time things well. And then the next fight he'll come out and it looks like
forget all of that. Yes.
Yeah, it's baffling. So sometimes I'm like, hey, shit, this guy can do stuff. He's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu from Travis Lutter as well. So like occasionally he'll get into grappling sequences where I'm like, oh shit, that's cool. And then sometimes he'll get into grappling sequences and it looks like he's never rolled in his life. So who's going to come out this time? I don't know. The question is, does undisciplined, unstrategic athleticism beat Kevin Holland, even at his worst?
Mm-hmm.
That's like, I guess, the question that we have to like figure out, because we can't reliably. If the best Kevin Holland comes out, the one who has a really good jab and is really like slick with how he implements his game plan, I think this is a super easy fight for him to take from Roman Dolidze. But if bad Kevin Holland comes out, like the one who fought against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, who was like, I'm going to try to kick with him, and you're like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? I think Roman Dolidze has enough of kind of like bulldozing athleticism where he can kind of just like run Kevin Holland into the fence, take him down, and then like really sloppily get to his back and maybe choke him out, or just like do enough ground and pound to where he just, takes rounds consistently from Kevin Holland. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Who you going with here?
I'm going with Kevin Holland. I'm sticking with my whole just athleticism is cheating and wins.
Well, I see. Here's the thing: if Kevin Holland does win, and it is because of his technique and skill, then you're like, great. He fought back against Roman Dolidze, who's gotten to a number 10 position in this division just by being more athletic than people. Because here's the thing: like Marvin Vettori is not very athletic. Marvin Vettori doesn't hit very hard. Marvin Vettori has a 1-2 and a double leg, and Roman Dolidze could not figure out how to beat that. He was like, "What the fuck is this? Look at all these advanced esoteric techniques this guy's throwing at me." So I'm going with Kevin Holland to fight back against the the brutish athlete. Although Kevin Holland is a freakish athlete in his own right. I think his reach is as long or close to as long as John Jones's, and he fights at middleweight and welterweight. Um, like he's got a he's got a weird build that allows him to get away with stuff as well. I'm gonna go with Kevin Holland. I'm gonna go Kevin Holland submission.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think Kevin Holland submission. I think that's what's gonna happen. I think, yeah. God, I hope, dude. If it's yeah, yeah. I know. Look, like there's this myth that like you'll like get better, right? And like that improvement is an infinite staircase that like can always go up. Like eventually people hit ceilings, or like you could put in a ton of hours in a specific technique and never get as good as somebody who only puts in like 2 hours for that technique. Right? You and I have trained with people who like they come in and they just instantly are better at kicking than like half of the people in the room, and they don't even need to practice. And you're like, what the fuck? Um, Kevin Holland kind of has that, but it also seems like he doesn't actually train those things, or maybe he does and just like he just can't. Like he just isn't able to make those. I don't know. Right. All of this is to say, like, Kevin Holland does strike me as someone who could, like, if he was like really pot committed in the way that like Ilia Topuria is to boxing, and then like every fight you see Ilia Topuria's boxing, like
scale up and improve.
Yeah, in like a major way. Kevin Holland, every now and then I get flashes of like, oh shit, he's like leveled up in this area, and then the next fight, it's like, oh my god, he devolved like 7 levels. What the fuck happened? So yeah, I'm pulling for Kevin Holland to beat Roman Dolidze, but
All right.
yeah.
No, that's good.
Anyway, yeah. Okay, so we're pretty. That was our one, and then we're both aligned on Kayla Harrison winning. Kayla Harrison has now moved to a -900 favorite. By the way.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah. And then yeah, I don't really want to talk about any of these other fights. Tim Means and Court McGee are the opener. I said that last time. Watch them.
Yeah.
Fun technique. That's another. See, that's a good fight. 2 unathletic jabronis who just have a lot of skill. And that's what I'm here for. That makes me feel seen.
All right.
Yeah.
Makes me feel seen.
Yeah. So, all right. And then what is the wager? What are we picking to the other person needs to like give a little book report on after this?
I don't know if we've decided that yet. Like, isn't it just whoever wins gets to decide like what we're doing, right?
Yeah. Well, I can tell you what I'm gonna decide if I win.
Okay, tell me.
I need you to give me an exhaustive history of the women's bantamweight title.
Oh my god,
people that have won it. That's what I want. I want you to give me, because we talked a little bit about like the revisionist history on was Ronda Rousey good or not. I want you to walk through the history of the women's bantamweight title, because it's not very long. And you kind of get a cheat code with Amanda Nunes because she was big and strong and hit very hard. The end.
Okay.
All
right. All right.
That's what I want, and I'll be especially interested to hear about how Juliana Pena won the title, and then also how Rocky Pennington won and then defended the title.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway. Well, this has been Two Fight Fans. Don't ever take betting advice from us. Yeah. 307 should be good, though, right?
Yeah.
We're going to have, hopefully, hyper-violence in the main title fight. Alex Pereira will win, but I'm pulling for Khalil Rountree. And if he does win, then I'll brag endlessly that I picked him when nobody else did. And don't doubt Jose Aldo. Collin's going to burn in the fire pits of hell for his doubt of Jose Aldo. Don't join him there. Yeah. Anyway, always remember, kids, athleticism is cheating. I'm One Fight fan, Stuart.
I'm the other Collin.
Join us next time where Collin will give us an exhaustive history of the women's bantamweight title. We talk about this card, and we look forward to an Apex card that really only has one fight on it. Tatsuro Taira versus Brandon Royval.
Yeah.
Feels like you could have deleted that Apex card, moved that fight onto this pay-per-view, and then you would have had like an even more banging pay-per-view. But the UFC has to have their little slot bucket at the UFC Apex, so we'll talk about that later. All right, everyone.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.